Hi guys, welcome back. It's Mary and today I'm going to show you how to make my version of nachos. For this recipe you will need of 1 can of whole pinto beans. I like mine with jalapeños. You can get them without so you don't have the spice, garlic powder, season all, chicken bouillon, onion powder, and salt and pepper. You will also need 1 pound of ground beef. I only had a 2-pound pack, but I will cut it in half for the video. Whole milk, and your choice of tortilla chips along with any toppings that you would like for the nachos. To start this recipe, you will need a large skillet preheated on medium-high heat and a medium-sized saucepan on medium-low heat. Once your pan is hot, add in some olive oil and let that come to temperature. And during that time, I cut my 2-pound pack of ground beef in half because this recipe only calls for 1 pound. And once my oil was nice and hot, I added my meat to my pan. Once you've added the beef to the hot pan, go ahead and break up the large piece into smaller pieces, and you want to leave this alone for a couple of minutes to start browning. While my beef is browning, I start on my refried beans, so I take my whole can of pinto beans and drain them before I add them to my saucepan to warm them up. Occasionally check on your ground beef. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes to finish browning, so just make sure you chop it into smaller pieces and give it a good stir every couple of minutes. And once it is almost completely done browning, I go ahead and remove all the grease from the pan. And once the grease is removed, I will go ahead and season my meat. When it comes to seasonings, I do not measure, so all my measurements for this video are rough estimates, but I go in with garlic powder and I add roughly 1 teaspoon. Then I used onion powder and I added roughly 3/4 of a teaspoon. And then I season with salt and pepper. I add about 1/2 of a teaspoon of pepper and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And I didn't add a lot of salt because season all is high in sodium, and I add about 1/2 of a teaspoon of that. But all my measurements of how much seasoning I use will be in the description below along with the full recipe. Once your meat is fully seasoned, give it a good stir before reducing the heat to low. Now that your beans have completely warmed through, I add them into my blender and blend them up till they are smooth before adding them back into my saucepan. Once my beans are blended and completely smooth, I add them back into my saucepan and add roughly 2 tablespoons of whole milk, 1/2 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, and then I give that a good stir before I season it with salt and pepper to taste. This is one of my family's favorite recipes. It is very quick to make. It only took about 15 minutes from start to finish to complete. It's kid-friendly and completely customizable to your family's likings. For my nachos, I added avocado, tomato, onions, cheese, sour cream, refried beans, and meat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.